First up, we have the mayor's report.
All right, good evening, Council President Chamberlain, members of the City Council. So just a couple slides tonight in the spirit of a very light agenda. I will keep my remarks brief also. We do have a long day coming Saturday, and I know you'll be talking more about that. All right, first slide, Dave. So this is, I briefed you in the public and you were already aware of this effort, but I felt it was just, we want to highlight this work that's going on. This letter and this convening was organized by the Puget Sound Regional Coordinating Council. So this is a, I can't say it's a big deal because it's not going to necessarily affect every citizen's life in the city of Bremerton tonight or tomorrow. But is this type of effort where we regionalize and we bring people together across all 4 counties to mobilize on efforts like this is where we do start to make an impact and start to change and shape our community and our future. So this is just the latest effort. 39 local elected leaders signed on to fund our ferries. It's a support letter. You'll see more work like this going on. And again, I'm just proud of the relationships that we've been able to build and bring it into Puget Sound Regional Council in support of this effort. And we are all in agreement. There's many communities that have really been harmed. Bremerton has been devastated in the marine, especially in this part of our transit system. And everybody's aware of that. So it's proud of the effort and more work to come. Next slide, please. Now, this is just some, as we're battling our way through state-funded transit systems and trying to create priorities. And we do have excellent work going on and continuing on here in the city. This is just another example of local community leaders who organized themselves and worked with the state to have our city of Bremerton become designated as a creative district. And this celebration is coming up March 1st. It's the next first Friday. And it's starting at 5 p.m. at the Admiral Theater. 6 p.m. is a unveiling. I won't tip the hand here and we'll let you be surprised. Come there at 6 p.m. It's a pilot program. It's the first of what we hope to see of many, many arts projects downtown. So that's it for tonight, and I'll stand by. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now we will go to the consent agenda.
Thank you, President Chamberlain. For approval on the consent agenda are the following items. A, claims and check register. Approval of the following checks and electronic fund transfers. 1, check numbers 405-959 through 406-120 and EFT numbers V40332 through V40429 in the grand total amount of $2,677,189.78. 2, regular payroll payout correction for pay period ending January 15th, 2024, and a credit amount of $14,290.21. 3, regular payroll for pay period ending January 31st, 2024, in the amount of $1,120,181.79. B, minutes of meeting February 7th, 2024. C, minutes of study session February 14th, 2024. D, confirm appointment of Amy Waterman to the Bremerton Parks and Recreation Commission. E, confirm appointment of Cynthia Engelgau Davis to the Bremerton Arts Commission. F, amendment number 6 to the agreement with Kitsap County for incarceration of city prisoners. G, professional services agreement with Consor North America, Inc. for construction management and inspection services for the Quincy Square project. And H, tourism promotion services agreement with Westbrook Maine Consulting LLC to provide consulting services on the impact of lodging tax advisory committee funding uses in Bremerton. This concludes the reading of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Does any member of the public wish to comment on any one of these consent agenda items?
Roy Runyon, Bremerton, District 6, 2 items. 4D, 4E. So the addresses for the applicants have been redacted, and have we confirmed that they are indeed residents of Bremerton and qualified to hold these positions? I didn't think there was an interaction between the council and, anyway, I see the heads nodding, so that means yes. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment on any one of these items on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to council for a motion. Okay, Councilor Robolowski.
I make a motion to approve.
I second the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Vice President Mochler. We have a first and a second. Do we have any discussion on this item?
No discussion on.
Okay, oh, that's, thank you.
consent agenda.
So seeing no further discussion, let's vote on the consent agenda.
Councilmember Fry,
Yes.
Coughlin,
Yes.
Robolowski,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Chamberlain.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Fantastic. And so we were upstairs in the briefing, and I think I got a little mixed up there. We did have some discussion. We had some kind of praises for our new Parks and Recreation Commission member, Ms. Waterman. I understand you're in the crowd today. Are you, if you're able or would be willing, would you come up and introduce yourself? Thank you.
Well, good evening. I'm Amy Waterman, proud resident of Bremerton, and very, very pleased to accept this new role with the Parks and Rec Commission. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Counselors, do you want to do a quick picture? Is that okay with Ms. Waterman?
I would love that.
Okay, would that be all right? Let's do it. I don't know that I prepared Christine for this. She's got to get her phone out, so. Okay, so we have fun sometimes, right? That was fun. All right. So next up, we have public recognition. As noted on the agenda, public recognition provides an opportunity for attendees to address the council on any issue not already on tonight's agenda. Again, there will be no public comments accepted via Zoom tonight unless prior arrangements have been made, which none that I know of have been made. And with that, you're welcome to line up at the podium to be recognized. We only ask that you state your name for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. And a timer system will be used. And with that, I open up public recognition.
My name is Manya Perkins. I am a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Washington. I am passionate about saving lives, preventing harm, and helping people choose life when everything around them seems to be urging them. Thank you. To choose otherwise. I run a queer and trans support group that meets on Thursday nights at Olympic College here in Bremerton. I started my career with 3 years of working with the military, law enforcement, veterans, and first responders. The suicide rate in those communities can be staggeringly high. In a disturbing overlap, the self-harm and suicide rates in the queer and trans communities are also horrifyingly high, several times higher than our general population in this country. The need for mental health services is acute, and the availability of these services is inadequate. So I started this group, meeting on Thursday nights at Olympic College with the support of the DEI office. It is free, open, non-faith-based. It functions to form community, reduce self-harm, provide peer-to-peer counseling, and help prevent suicide in our county. We have a monthly psychoeducational talk given by Kenny Davis, who is another local area mental health counselor and who is as deeply passionate and committed to saving lives and minds as I am. We need your support, we need visibility, and we need you to realize how imperative it is to save the lives of people who feel like they may not be welcome in our wonderful community. Kitsap County is a beautiful place, and there are lots of good people living here. We don't want to repeat in our community of the tragedy that took the life of a 16-year-old child in Oklahoma earlier this month. So please spread the word that there's help and support for queer and trans folks in our community. Spread the word that if anybody has questions, this may be a place to find some answers. Take a picture of the QR code and follow it to our Facebook page, the Queer and Trans Support Group for Kitsap County. And remember that we're all here to practice compassion toward one another. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Lou Long, longtime resident of Bremerton. I'm here once again to encourage the council to start our city council meetings formally with the Pledge of Allegiance. I will continue to do this until I cannot do it anymore, or until you guys decide to change your minds. So if there's anyone in the room that would like to stand with me and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which encompasses 50 grand states of people who believe in the values that this flag represents. So with that, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There were a lot of people that fought hard to separate from a tyrant king who was taking from this country or the land when we had the 13 colonies, and they broke away from England. And they've had many variations of the flag, but the flag represents a lot more than just the number of states that have joined it. It represents freedom. It represents self-determination. And I love what the flag represents. I cannot see how it is a problem with our elected officials to not say the Pledge of Allegiance. I won't take any more of your time. I'm happy that we're going to have a short meeting tonight because you guys have been putting in long hours. But anyway, good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas noches, estimados y muy apreciados personal de la ciudad. Good evening. With all my highest respect to you, thank you for representing our city. And my name is Martita May. I'm, for those new city council that know me, I would like to introduce myself, what I do in the community. A long-time Bremertonian resident, and also co-founder of a handful of organizations such Kitsap Immigrant Assistance Center, Kitsap Mesa Redonda, CARE, Kitsap Advocating for Immigrants' Rights and Equality, 9/11 SOS, and a few more. I'm here also starting a program with Kitsap Strong. That program we started a few years ago, and now Kitsap Strong has the program. So I'm very grateful being in this community that supports the most in need, I can say that. I'm here tonight in front of you, very happy because I just wanted to share with you that Kitsap Mesa Redonda, it's so hard to see, but for the first time got the community champion organization, grassroots organization that had received the recognition award by one of the local organization resiliency project. Provided these are the stone soup night, and Kids Up Mesa Redonda was the one who was recognized that night. And I just wanted to share, I said, as I mentioned in front of thousands of people, the first time I got recognition award from NFL and Kids Up, and Seahawks back in 2012 or 2013, I don't remember. And I mentioned, I don't want to go there because it's not what I don't do things to get recognized. And the organization that started the things, to get recognized, I like to support our families. We like to support the most in need and eliminate barriers. So I'm here just sharing that I wasn't going to say it, but someone said, you had to go, had to recognize. So Kids Up Mesa Redonda was recognized just a few days ago. And everybody's so welcome to come to Kids Up Mesa Redonda meetings. I know that Mayor Wheeler is our member. He came once and a couple of times, right, actually. And but it is about bringing together the community, and
Thank you.
everybody's welcome to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. May.
Hello, my name's Eric Nemeth. I sit on the Downtown Business Association committees for design and economic vitality. I hope that Jeff could potentially, show up at one of our meetings. We do have a meeting coming up, the next one, February 28th at the Fleet House lobby at the Marina Square. And I have plans to submit a proposal to the mayor as he asked me to help beautify downtown Bremerton. I was a painting contractor for 35 years, and I have some ideas on how to beautify downtown through painting. And I understand some issues of vacant buildings are come around and the condition of them. So I'm working with property owners, and I have some pretty robust ideas and some plans that may be outside the scope of the DBA. So I'm trying to kind of vet those between just being new to that group and maybe what council may support. So I invite anybody to the public that would come down to the Downtown Business Association, get involved. I think absolutely, without a doubt, that our best days are ahead of us. And I'm not sure if it's appropriate to do that. I don't know exactly how to engage with anybody, but I definitely want to engage with the public and the council. And we are in the process right now of finalizing our executive director. So we'll have a lot of, I think, horsepower going forward, and maybe some of the things that you haven't seen in the past will definitely be coming up new very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is very tough for me, and I'm going to be just off the wall, do something different. I watch or listen to during work Brandy Cruz, and one of the things she has in her podcast, she really follows the I Heart Seattle, where they've been working amidst the homeless, and they were saying that there was one thing above all that is holding back progress, and I just wanted to address it. And my weird thing is I wanted to bring a riddle to bring emphasis to this, that this needs to be addressed, and hopefully we can work together. So what I talk about is formless, yet very present, afflicts both old and young, all races, all classes, rich and poor, strong and weak. It's mightier than cities, states, and even nations. It makes ineffective the best of community charities, and unless addressed here or elsewhere, it will cause even more homeless communities to arise. It ends marriages, it stops graduations, it ends careers, and especially ends hearts. What can kick homeless out of shelters, cause evictions from non-payments on a mass scale, cause fights for no reason, pregnancy without purpose, bringing gangs and mafia to sleepy little burbs or little cities. We really need to address the drug and particularly fentanyl problem. It is massive. I see it on a daily basis. Almost every other hour I see people where I work coming in and begging to be let in. everything. I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be worked on other than this issue. I can only recommend that you guys take a look at it either through talking with the police chief, fire, doing ride-alongs, particularly in ambulances, going to hospitals, or talking to somebody. I implore you, please take issue with this. I beg. Amen.
Hi, my name is Khalil Naino, Bremerton resident, and I can vouch for that. I can see the integrity that's been given to us on the streets. It's very slow, but it's a process. And I do think that it's actually happening because since 2021, I wasn't feeling it. And then now I am feeling it this year. And I know it's a slow process, but I do thank you for you guys' consistency in it. And I'll be you guys' eyes on it. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Roy Runyon, District 6, City of Bremerton. Well, about ferries, I'm glad that there are a number of legislators that are now working on the issue. I was involved 18 years ago with Larry Sequist, former representative, and also Christine Rolfus, excuse me, regarding the ferry issue, both from a capital perspective and operational perspective. I was actually on the budget committee. No, I was the budget committee. Nobody wanted to talk numbers. So, and I agree that we need to get ferries built. The idea was to go with diesel electric hybrid ferries. The technology is there, but it's difficult. Also, you need a big bank of batteries. And really the only type of battery you need to have in a marine, you can have a marine vessel, is a lithium iron phosphate battery. You cannot have these NMC batteries that you have in the Teslas, just from a safety standpoint. So we need to get ferries. It's a long time coming. So conventional diesel powered ferries are the way to go. We can use hydrotreated vegetable oil, which is not biodiesel. It's actually made from vegetable oil, but it's very close chemically to number 2 diesel. I've used biodiesel. I've made biodiesel. I've used every liquid fuel there is basically in vehicles and boats and airplanes. So another thing I want to point out, she's still in the audience. Good. So Ms. Waterman, Parks Commission. One of the issues we have here in the city of Bremerton, we have a very large park system, which is really unsustainable from a maintenance standpoint. Had a conversation with a city employee who talked about other cities, especially in the Midwest, who tend to concentrate their park facilities in a few facilities. It makes it so much easier to manage. But the standard we have right now, I believe, is a half-acre park within a half mile of every resident in the city of Bremerton. That is a 1944 standard, folks, when we had 80,000 people living in Bremerton in cars, in garages because of the war. That is not our situation today. So we need to look at that parks plan, and hopefully the new parks commissioner will bring that up, and I'll work on that. And as far as the arts commissioner, I'm glad we have a new arts commissioner. I knew Ms. Engelgau has been a longtime employee of the city of Bremerton. And what I proposed when I was on the council, that we prioritize the 1% for the arts program with Bremerton artists, Kitsap artists, Washington State artists. We've actually purchased art from artists from out of the state. There's no reason for that. We have a huge, thriving artist community. Let's keep our dollars local. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment? Stay on any item not on the agenda. Okay, I will now close public recognition and move on to general business, which there is no general business. So that was pretty quick. And then we'll conclude with council reports. So council reports are an opportunity for council members to provide an update on any issue or events taking place in their district, announce any events they've recently attended or plan to attend, or to speak on any other city-related topic. And well, Councilor Younger, you're up on deck first.
Thank you. No report.
Okay. Next up, we have Vice President Mockler, District 6.
Okay. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. So from time to time, I report on 13th Street. It's the reason I first ran for council. 13th Street between Kitsap and Callow is a very dangerous road, in my opinion, in my not a professional engineer opinion. I have watched children jump into muddy verges for many years now. And here I just thought I'd show you that it's sort of on beyond muddy verges on a day like this. This slide and the next slide, please. Are on the block between Wyckoff and Callow. And you literally have to walk into the road in order to get where you're going. The intersection at the top of the photo doesn't look that dangerous, but it's kind of a blind curve, and I've seen people whip around that corner pretty fast. So just bringing it up. Next slide, please. We went to AWC days, and this is Governor Inslee explaining that since he's in a public meeting, he cannot advocate for the Climate Commitment Act. He cannot advocate for it. He cannot advocate for it. Next slide, please. This is Parks Director Jeff Elevato very kindly took a photo with us at my last monthly town hall, and gave us a dynamite presentation on what all is happening with Lulu Haddon Park. And I'm sure every resident of anywhere near Lulu Haddon has fingers and toes crossed that nothing gets in the way of this plan being implemented this year. We are all full of hope. And thank you again, Director Elevato. Next slide, please. And finally, I have these monthly town halls since late 22, and they are every second Monday, 4 to 6. Thank you to the Public Works Department for letting me use their conference room. And finally, as of tomorrow, I will have been a counselor on this city council for exactly 2 years. I was sworn in on 22, which is an easy date to remember. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you. It's really been an honor to serve with you.
Thank you, Vice President Mockler. And next up, we have District 5, Michael Goodnow.
Thank you. No report this.
Thank you very much. Okay, next up, District 4, Jane Robolowski.
Hi, Dave. I have a couple slides. Last Saturday, we started the attack on the blackberries at Matan Park. That's what 5 volunteers got together. And 2 of the volunteers, Naomi and Alton, are here in the audience. It was a lot of fun until it wasn't. But we're going to do it again on March 9th. And I think if we can get 10 people, we can get it finished, because we got to get it eradicated before they really take over. Next slide, please. So there's Naomi and Alton standing in front of a little cedar tree that you couldn't even see when we got there, and now you can. So thank you for your help, and it was great getting to know you better. Okay, that's it for slides. The really big news in District 4 is Midtown Market is reopening next Monday. And I think the ribbon cutting's at 10 o'clock, but we've missed them so much in our neighborhood, and really happy to get Cash and his family back in the neighborhood and just have a place where you can walk to get your groceries. And that's it for me.
Thank you. All right, next up, District 3, Jeff Coughlin.
Thank you, Council President. I got a full one. Public recognition real quick. I just wanted to thank you for offering the LGBTQ plus counseling services. I was one of those folks, one of those youth 20 years ago that could have used it, didn't have it. I'm so glad that today's youth will have that opportunity. So thank you. Y Matita me, si estás aquí, gracias por todo lo que haces en nuestra comunidad. And then, sir, with the downtown, I couldn't tell if it was saying business, the Downtown Bremerton Association. Let's touch base after the meeting, absolutely, and see what we can do to work together. To my slide deck. want to echo Councilor Mockler's starting off. Excellent trip down to Olympia. I just want to highlight these two for working together. On the right is obviously three of us council members. On the left was a great dinner hosted by Paulsbo with other council members and mayors from across Kitsap. I gave a lot of some details to council last week, but it was really good to advocate for our city for transportation and housing and all our needs. I'm going to highlight on ferries with the next slide, which is pretty much all we talked about on that dinner since it affects all of Kitsap and beyond. And a big shout out to one of our local representatives, Greg Nance. He's taken this on as kind of one of his main issues. He's the most freshman member of the state house and the 23rd. He went with the Bremerton Ferry Coalition and myself on a crew appreciation ride back in January. And then we were able to host him here for a town hall on fixing our ferries. I'm happy to announce that he has some updates coming out of Olympia, and on March 9th, so that's Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., he's going to host another Fix Our Ferries town hall. I was just able to book Norm Dix. So I think as a full council and mayor, we can host him here and have a great turnout. So he's been doing a lot of work. Next slide. On a bill to establish an oversight commission for the ferry system and to secure additional funding. And then I also want to give a thanks to one of our other state reps, Hutchins, was working with his members on also looking at other options. And as we heard tonight, options to possibly buy other ferries or to just get ferries as quickly as possible. So there's a lot of motion on ferries, and both of them have done a good job on getting people not only in our region, but across the state on board with different options. So it's really good to see all of our state reps and senators, all hands on deck, trying to fix the ferry crisis, which has gone on over 2 years now. And as we've heard, has really been 20 years in the making. All right, next slide. Mayor covered this one. I'll just add, I believe that the main goal is to basically revitalize some of the empty buildings. We've seen it with some already, but if you have empty buildings and empty storefronts and windows, there's no harm in decorating them with advertisements for local businesses and festivals and just some nice art. So excellent work and excited to be there. Next slide. Highlight Downtown Bremerton Associations putting on the St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 16th. I believe there's also a separate puppy parade going with it. So if you're in any sort of group or organization, you can register now. And I know we did it last year, council, which was a lot of fun. So would be down for doing it again. I think I just have one or two more slides. Sorry, these got a little small, but saw this in the Greater Kitsap Chamber newsletter and wanted to highlight talking about businesses and economics. There is a Kitsap Women's Summit for female business owners. And the left is supposed to be that there's a pre-brief meeting on, I believe it's February 29th, a pre-summit workshop, and then the actual workshop itself is Thursday, March 21st. So great to see this event go on. In my final slide is, yes, thanking Ms. Waterman for her service and everybody that serves on our commissions and committees. As I mentioned in a study session, I think I'd like to see us do a little more outreach to folks to let them know that we have all these excellent committees and commissions and get as many people applying as possible. So if you go on the city website, search for commissions, committees, there's an application process. You can apply at any time and check all the ones that you're interested. Go back and update your application. I'm just going to try and keep casting the net wide and far to get as many excellent people as we can. So thanks for all the volunteer, and that's it for me, council.
Thank you. Next up, we have District 2, Denise Fry.
I have no report tonight. Can you believe it? Nothing to say.
Well, that leaves me. I don't have a report, but I just wanted to throw out a thanks to Public Works and also to our folks that man the Bremerton One app. We had a constituent who emailed me about a concern with with a street that was really, really dirty and a ditch that was really dirty. And not to say that this is something that can be done all the time, but there was an excess of garbage in this one particular area. And I said, you reported it to the Bremerton One app. Let's give it a couple weeks. And if they don't have capacity for it, you and I will go out there with gloves and a garbage bag. But it was about a week later that folks got out there and got that taken care of for them. So I just want to remind folks, if you have issues, potholes, issues with the city, cars that you think might be abandoned on your street, please use your Bremerton One app to report, because folks are watching and they're following up, and super grateful to the team that takes care of our city through that app too. With that, I have nothing else to report for District 1. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and make this announcement now prior. We do have an executive session we're gonna take care of, but I do want to let everybody know that we do have our joint planning session on Saturday, February 24th at the Kids App Conference Center. It'll be on the 3rd floor with the mayor, judge, department heads, and council. The public is welcome to attend in person or remotely by Zoom, but there will be no opportunities to comment. And then we'll have our next study session on the 6th floor of the council conference room on Wednesday, March 6th, beginning at 5 p.m. with a remote option available by Zoom. So we're going to take a 10-minute executive session to discuss potential litigation as allowed under RCW 42.30.110(1)I, and action is anticipated.
Recording stopped.
And if you gotta go, thanks for coming, y'all.
Council President, are we ready to start the video?
Recording in
Yes.
progress.
Call the meeting back to order. See, will Attorney Juddy, are you prepared with a motion? To summarize the action before council and read a motion for the
I need
record?
just one moment.
No problem.
The motion would be in relation to Endo International PLC, cause number 2222549. Move to authorize the city attorney's office to execute ballots 100474579, 1004574, 1004576, 1004581, 1004508, 1004575 on behalf of the city of Bremerton by voting to abstain and opt out of granting releases contained in the plan.
Thank you. Does any member of the public wish to comment on this item? Yeah. Come on up, Mr. Runyon.
So what exactly, it's just for goods and services that were not delivered, were not, failure to meet the terms of a contract? And what is the potential cost or recovery from this company?
Certainly. So this is in relation to Endo International. They're a pharmaceutical company that's declared bankruptcy. This is in relation to potential opioid claims that could or may be brought. Under this plan, the city of Bremerton would not be guaranteed any money in their restructuring. So.
Thank you. Does any other member of the public wish to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to council for a motion.
Move to approve the long motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. So let's vote on the item.
Councilmember Coughlin,
Yes.
Ravelowski,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Mochler,
Yes.
Younger,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Chamberlain.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right. This concludes tonight's regular council business. Meeting is adjourned.